Yo guys, what is up? It is MasterDavros here, and today Awakening the Nightmare came out as I'm recording this. This is going to be the full leader showcase of VORIDUS, one of the new banished commanders for Halo Wars 2. He is featured within the Awakening the Nightmare campaign, as well as multiplayer and firefight, so you can get your hands on him right now if you purchase the Halo Awakening Nightmare DLC expansion in Halo Wars 2. But without further ado, let's get right into the video showcasing all his units and leader powers. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you later. Peace. The first leader power on the wheel is the Infused Mine. You can place it anywhere within your line of sight, for example on power nodes, and once enemies come near it, you can detonate it, and it releases a pool of infusion which can kill enemies on impact and can kill them if they stay in prolonged time within the pool. Then we have the Infused Wake, which works very similar to Decimus's Vortex Lightning ability. You can use it to create your own perimeter of infusion gel, and any enemies which stand within this pool of infusion will take damage over a course of time, so it gives your units a little advantage. Another leader power is called Combat Spoils. It is a passive ability, so you don't have to spend extra credits to actually use it in game. Once you unlock it, all your units, once they attack the enemy supply buildings, you'll actually take supplies from the buildings and you'll come into your own income. Next up we have special units of VORIDUS called Brute Grenadiers. They can be spawned via raid camps, and they're very effective against infantry as anti-infantry, but also they can be a formidable force against a building. And you can upgrade their damage, health, as well as the grenades, so the grenades incite infusion damage. And you see me here use a Brute Grenadier drop leader power. You drop in a pair of veteran brutes, and they drop in a pool of infusion gel. This is where the special ability comes in. You can suck in this infusion gel with the Brute Grenadiers, which will buff their damage, I believe also health, as well as their speed as well. So very useful tactic right there. Another leader power is the Invigorating Frenzy. You can lead damaged troops, or any troops for that matter, into a pool of infusion gel. Infusion gel is required for this to work. You need to get infusion gel, and then you activate the Invigorating Frenzy, and this buffs the speed, damage of all units in the area, as well as increase their health. So if some of your units have lost health, they'll regain some of the health back without necessarily having to have engineers or regen fields. Next up on the wheel is Infusion Tech, and this is another passive ability. It makes Brute Grenadiers and Infused Engineers considerably cheaper to build, and if you upgrade further, your wraiths and blisterbacks will fire infused shots. Wraiths will only fire infused shots if you get the Wraith Mortar upgrade. These bad boys hovering above the hunters are also unique units only to VORIDUS. They're called Infused Engineers, and as you can see here, they're healing the hunters, but also use a special ability, and instead of creating a little shield around your units, they actually deploy pools of infusion gel, and all of your enemies can it can damage the enemies surrounding your units, and also you can use the infusion gel of other leader powers to your advantage to buff your units, etc. VORIDUS also has a very special ultimate unit that only he has, which is the Volatile Scarab, also known as the Infusion Scarab. It fires Scarab beams just like the old one, but its Scarab beams create some infusion fields around your enemies, which will damage them even further. And of course it also has its shield ability that also the original Scarab has. This is a very effective ultimate unit against buildings, more so than any other ultimate units, so this is very useful for late game rushes if you actually want to win. And as you can see, I'm using the other leader power which I unlocked, which is a Spirit that drops also some veteran units. In this case it drops in a Marauder and Infused Engineer, and as well as a bonus the Spirit drops in some pools of infusion gel which you can use for your advantage as well. Here you see us doing a base assault here, and I'm trying to deploy as much infusion gel as possible onto the battlefield. This is all a lead up to the ultimate leader power which I got in store here, called Cataclysm, and I'm about to use that here. And what it does is it pretty much makes all the infusion gel within the area explosive, and it basically amplifies its damage effects on units as well as buildings and even air units. So as you can see, I'm shooting the base with my Scarab, and since my Scarab has infusion gel powered into its laser, it makes its attack much more stronger. And you can see here some explosive effects in the background here. We pretty much demolished that base. That was pretty tight.
attack. It stopped moving.
The final leader power I'm going to be showing for Voridus is called the Maelstrom, and it is a huge vortex ability, so once the field is in effect, units will be pulled towards the center of this little field here, and well, they're pretty much trapped. It's kind of like a troll ability, and you can pretty much demolish them once they're stuck in there. You can use it to escape, but it's very useful. And this is him in action, showing off his infusion field here he creates, and since I already got his final ability unlocked, he is cloaked whenever he is inside an infusion field. That's the effect of the final upgrade for Voridus. Very effective. So I hope you guys enjoyed me showcasing Voridus, and I'll see you next time for Pavium. Yo guys, what is up? It is MasterDavros here. I already did a Voridus leader showcase here, but now I'm going to be doing the showcase on Pavium, showcasing all of his units in action, as well as showcasing his leader powers as well. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll be showing all of his stuff in action as best as possible, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. First leader power which I'll show here is called Burnout, and it's basically, you can use it on any building slot which involves mega turrets or supply buildings, and it puts them on steroids. If you have supply buildings, it increases the supply drop rate, so very effective there to put them on steroids. These here are building slots only unique to Pavium. They're very effective if you want to have a defensive perimeter setup on your bases. These are mega turrets, and they are long range turrets, just like the siege turrets are, but perhaps even more effective. They can actually shoot, as you can see on this map for example, they can actually shoot buildings if they're actually in your line of sight, and if any enemies come within the perimeter of your bases, they're going to be shot down as well. But if you want to actually counter these mega turrets, you'll have to use air units, because the mega turrets cannot shoot air units, and this has been proven as well. And if you want to purchase more mega turrets, they wouldn't cost the same amount. They'll actually start to increase in amount, so you have to pay more and more if you want to have more mega turrets set up. So I guess it's kind of balanced in that way. And if you want to upgrade your mega turrets, which you have to first upgrade your bases for that, you'll have to do that at one turret at a time. So if you upgrade the turret, it doesn't necessarily upgrade all the turrets as well at the same time, only one at a time. So there you go. The orbital designator leader power allows you to see any small area within the fog of war, so it is a very useful tactical leader power if you want to have a scout around without actually sending scout units, so you can actually be scouting units without actually alerting them, which is a very interesting leader power indeed. This is going to be one of the more devastating leader powers of Pavium. This is sort of like a mini eradication, but a little bit more easier for your units to dodge. So it's not that overpowered, which is why it's not towards the end of a leader wheel, but sort of in the middle. You can use it like this. It's very devastating against buildings. Of course, this is not even a fully upgraded version, but of course it would be also devastating against ground units as well, and probably very effective, I would imagine, against ultimate units such as a Scarab and Condor. This is one of the earlier leader powers you can lock in the game as Pavium. This is the Enduring Will. This is pretty much his regen field ability. It lasts longer than a regen field, but individually it isn't as strong as a healing field as the regen field itself is. But it's, like I said, it lasts longer and has a larger perimeter. So pretty useful right there. Allow me to introduce the Wraith invaders. These are the new unique vehicle units for Pavium. You can unlock them only via the leader power wheel, and then you can spawn them in at your home bases. These are essentially troop transporters, and you can pretty much place any infantry units inside, such as hunters, grunt squads, elite rangers. You can have them inside, and they can shoot through the windows or something inside this Wraith invader, and they can, since the Wraith invaders have high speed, high health, shields, it's a very powerful vehicle to use effectively, especially have these little beam cannon hunters inside, and it can be quite a powerful tool to use, especially with its extra health inside. So that's pretty neat right there, as you can see. Using the full salvage leader power, you can get a full refund for self-destructing buildings and other building slots instead of getting partial refunds. Also, another feature of the full salvage here, you can your buildings, any building slots will heal itself over time, which is really good. So you don't necessarily need the engineers to actually repair everything. The building will start to repair itself slowly as well, which is pretty neat if you don't actually have engineers available to help you out. Second last leader power on the wheel is Pavium's Stand, and this is very similar to Aatrox's invulnerability ability, but instead of making your units invulnerable, you actually make all structures invulnerable for a certain period of time, so very useful for defensive play. Here you're seeing some gameplay of Pavium in action, taking out that Frostraven. Note that he's using his paint ability to paint the Frostraven so he does extra damage on it. Then he takes care of those Marines with explosive firepower. But we're going to be talking about his final ability here. But before that, he also has a drone that is hovering around him. It can heal him and as well as some other units around him if you activate it. And his final ability, as well as giving him health and extra damage, you have the Riot Shield, which comes into effect. It can block some of the projectiles fired by enemies and pretty much fire them back at them, which will of course do damage onto them, which is pretty useful. Shows his defensive nature as well in action, so that's nice. And then finally, the final leader power allows you to spawn in a banished lich, which can be used to preserve some areas here and pathways, some valuable structures. It's a very defensive leader power, but very effective. But as you can see, I'm actually using it here to kind of assault this base here. It is powerful at destroying infantry units. It'll definitely give you a helping hand, as that's a lot of health. It's sort of like a semi-ultimate unit, but you can't control it. You cannot control it. But it spawns there a teleporter here, which you can use to actually spawn in more units to help you in the battle here. So it can be used both defensively and offensively, which is probably why it's the last leader power you can see on the wheel, because it's pretty much very useful in both aspects right there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase of Pavium as well as Voridus, and I'll see you guys in some more Awakening Nightmare content later on or tomorrow, whatever.